This episode has been brought to you from the DGMS Studios, home of Don't Get Me Started, Lethal and Mully Live, and Surftown. Found at Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, and wherever you listen to your podcast. Hello and welcome to Don't Get Me Started. It's the mother of all podcasts with Keith and Lee. Hi, I'm Lee.
And I'm Keith.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Don't Get Me Started with Keith and Lee. We're in the studio again. Happy to be here, and Keith said an opposite. He's looking good. He's ready for the big off. How are you, mate?
The big off?
The big off, mate. Let's do it. Let's get on. Let's get this podcast moving.
You mean like take off?
Yeah.
I've never heard that, the big off.
The big off.
Is that an English thing?
Off and you're off.
Jeez. Well, you learn something every day,
You
don't
do.
you, Lee? Is that an English thing?
I'm not sure. Been told it's a big off.
Now, you always steal a march on me in the beginning of these episodes and ask, how am I doing? I'm going to ask you, how are you today, Lee?
Mate, I'm always excited to be here. I'm always happy to be here. As I've said before, it's my happy place. I just want to tell the listeners we've been quite busy over the last couple of days doing videos for YouTube, which will be coming out soon. Keith and I have been trying to move forward with them, but we've been so busy laughing at ourselves. It's been hysterical, and I've got a headache. And I've been editing and it's taken me twice as long because I'm crying laughing. So we must be going through a spell at the moment that people will go, well, I suppose you had to be there.
Well, they will be able to be there because it's visual. We'll have it up on YouTube.
On YouTube.
And they can look at it.
As we mentioned on our last podcast, we are starting a radio station called
A Rogue Radio Noosa.
And we're very excited about it, and we're going to continue to promote it. We will be giving you more information as it comes to light. Soon, hopefully within the next maybe 1 or 2 weeks, it'll be up and running. But we would like to welcome Rogue Radio Noosa to the DGMS family.
Yes, and how exciting as it is growing closer to coming into existence. It's a lot of work. You've been doing that, Lee, which I've been thankful for. The less I've got to do with technical things, the better. Because,
you're getting there, Mully. You did really well with the Holy Land down the coast.
When I did the interviews, I rehearsed it quite a few times, and there's only about 3 buttons to press. If I have a gadget where I've got to press more than 5 buttons, I'm all at sea. But I have a theory that that's life, isn't it? It's all about which button to press.
It is. Yeah.
With people, or not to press. Don't press a button with that guy or that girl. Oh, my God, he'll bite your head off.
Don't press that red button, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's get back on because we're reeling off again. I think it's selling itself short, Keith, because I think you can do more than what you're saying. I just feel you think, oh, well, Lee's in control of it, I'll leave him to it. But that won't last for long, mate. So you can take that smile right off your face.
Well, you're on to me, aren't you? Because you do know that at heart I'm a lazy bugger, and the less I have to do with technical things, the better. And I come into this studio here, which is brilliant. There's cords and there's gadgets and things everywhere. You have a name for them. You know what the Elgato is, the Rode arms.
A10 Mini Pro.
It's like, they're television screens, aren't they? No, they're monitors.
They're monitors, that's correct.
I just call them gadgets.
Yeah. I'm hoping now that the studio is complete. Now, every time I say that, there's something else. And I mentioned to you last night about the Osmo Pocket 3.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, what a neat little gadget. It's just pretty slick.
I think it would be great if you're going to do any vlogging or going overseas, or you want to do a bit down the river, or you want to do a bit where you're hiking, where you can just have 5 minutes chat. It follows you around. It's a wide angle lens for an inch screen. Incredible.
Yeah, I had a look at one of the YouTube tutorials or, a review where a professional photographer was talking about it, and I was quite impressed.
Yeah.
And typically a lot of these professionals, when they tell you in their review of a product, they'll say the pros and the cons. And every product, I'm thinking, has a con. And when I was listening to what he thought was negative, I thought, well, this guy's got a really high standard. He's a professional photographer. He's got a very, very high standard. And what he thought was negative about it, I don't think would be be a great concern for semi-pros like you and I.
Is that what you sent to me?
Yes.
I watched that too. Very interesting indeed. But the only thing is, it's a form of the DJI, which is another mobile microphone. So we've already got the Hollyland Lark. But with the Creators Pack that I was looking into it before, it comes with that. So we might give it a go.
We might give it a go. Boy, aren't we getting to be more semi-professional on the way to becoming professional?
Well, I like toys. I've always loved toys.
I have to call these gadgets toys now.
Yeah, they're toys, mate.
I've got to give it to you, Lee. It's just fantastic. And I love coming in here too, and I love having this chat. So the answer to my question about your well-being is that you are well.
I am well. I am very happy. I'm very content. Life's good. We were talking before and you were saying about people that come around your life at the moment that are very positive, that they're putting a bomb under your butt and making you realise some things that you probably wouldn't have heard before. I like that, Mully. That's encouraging to me for you. How's that?
No, it's bloody concerning because I like to take it easy, and like I've told you a few times, at heart I'm a lazy bugger, and I find that my life sometimes is something that I can't control. I'll often think, I'd like to do this or I'd like to go in that direction, but somehow or other life comes over me and takes me off in the exact opposite direction, which often means that I have to put in an effort or invest in that direction because I'm now propelled down that road. That's been happening lately. All these really great people have been saying to me wonderful information about how they want to live their best life. And it's not that they're giving me super positive reinforcements, but they're saying if you do this, there's a benefit. And if you press into this area of your life, you'll find that you'll have a greater quality. And they're giving me information that I know I'm only going to benefit from. And so I had a friend recently, quite a Christian guy, and he said, I'm going to keep praying for you, Mully. And I said, don't.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Too many good things are happening and I have to get up and follow it. And I'm being a bit facetious here, Lee. Really, I'm being challenged, actually. And reminds me of that old sage piece of advice: surround yourself with good people. Don't surround yourself with negative people who pull you down. And I'm finding that these good people are coming into my life, whether I invite them in or not. And it's really, really getting me up and moving a lot more.
Well, it's an interesting thing you said they're coming into your life. I just think they've always been there, but you are now starting to realise it's like the happier you are, the more you see. I think you're open. I think your aura or your hum or whatever it is allows that to be seen. And I get that from my wife. She's telling me with protein, to get the intake in, to get back into lifting weights, because not for now or not for the aesthetics of it or the muscle, but just to build the muscle that you have to sustain you through the next 10 years. So you're building now to help you over the next 10 years. I love that kind of talk.
Yeah, but the emphasis there is on that verb, build.
Build.
That's effort. It's like I have so many people at the moment are speaking to me about the benefits of cold showers. And it's the last thing I want to hear. I hate cold showers. I hate cold baths. I hate it when I go surfing and it's in the middle of winter and I have to put a wetsuit on. And this is an effort that I have to make. And I'm hearing from all these good people, and I look at them, they're just a picture of health. They radiate and they're saying, you have no idea, mate, the benefits of a cold shower, 30 seconds in the morning, every day.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a little challenge.
No.
It's a small challenge and it will do you good.
No.
Tomorrow morning, get a bowl, put cold water in with ice.
Put my finger into it?
Well, I wasn't going to say that. Submerge your face into it.
No.
Just give it a go and see what you feel. Now, if you imagine that the whole body, it will impact you in certain ways. Try that. I challenge you. Like the ice bucket challenge that was so popular a few years ago, where you would sit there and they'd pour over the ice bucket, and then you would have to nominate people that you'd want to do that as well. I was nominated numerous times, but didn't do it.
Yeah, well, what gets me about this is that I can see, or I'm becoming more and more convinced of the benefits of all these challenges that are being put forward to me. And I don't want to have a challenge.
You're not up to, well, you would if I challenged you, that's for sure.
Well, you want to try and beat me. That's been your bugbear, hasn't it? I mean, what's the score here? I'd be 80%, you're 20%.
Oh, here we go. We're down that path again, Keith, the old path. I was talking to, as I mentioned to you before you came in, we caught up with an old mate of yours named Neil. And he was saying, oh, you've known Keith that long. I said, oh, yeah, it's been competitive for 32 years. Him and I have been at it for anything and everything. He goes, oh, okay. I didn't realise Neil was a Yorkshireman either.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Just all you have to do is listen to him speak.
After about a minute and a half, and then I heard, oh, well, yeah, that's right. I know Keith a long time. I know Johnny Cummins. I'm thinking, oh, my goodness, here we go.
Yeah.
Another Northerner.
He's a Northerner, all right.
Good on him.
Now, Lee, when I was away, and I've just come back from a fantastic trip down to the south of New South Wales, I was with a very good friend, lifetime friend, known him forever. And he's a guy who I love dearly and have a lot of respect for. And he's the type of guy who likes to talk about things quite openly like you and I do. He doesn't have too many barriers and he's quite secure within himself. He was talking about something that he was doing. And I've noticed lately, over the last couple of years, he's become far more generous than he's ever been. He's quite successful financially. He's got a great life that's going for him and he's sharing it. So I don't know where this question came from, but we're in the pub and he was having a punt and a couple of beers and I said to him, do you like yourself? Do you like who you are? And he immediately started to tell me that he was very proud of what he had done in life and illustrated a few acts of kindness and help that he'd done for somebody else. And I stopped him. I said, no. I said, you're talking about act that you are quite pleased with, but forget about that. Do you like who you are yourself? Where you're not doing anything for anybody, but just you are comfortable and very happy and totally 100% accepting of who you are as a person.
That's a deep question.
Well, we can talk that way. Like I said, we've known each other for a very, very long time. He actually likes deep questions and has some terrific things to say. But on this particular question, he didn't find it easy to answer.
I wonder why. Did you ask him why, or did you see the change of his face or his body language?
Yeah, his face. It wasn't so much his body language. I think it took him a while to kind of process it, to see the perspective that I was coming from. I don't think he'd actually thought about it.
Because some people be confronted by that, where they wiggle in their seat like this or they turn, because it opens up something that they've never really had a look at.
Yeah, and sometimes too, when people are generous and are doing things for others, it can be an act to make themselves feel good about themselves. Oh, I'm okay after all because I've been good and kind to people.
For what purpose? That's the thing.
Yeah, well, the purpose could be to make themselves not confront their total acceptance of their self. Do you really like yourself?
It's like keeping busy, so you don't have to answer these questions or you don't have time for them.
Yeah.
And when you said that, it struck deep in me. That's why I said it's like a deep question. So let me turn it on to you, Keith. The question. Do you like yourself?
Yeah, I do. I think for a long time I was unsatisfied with myself, where I didn't think I had grown into a person that I liked or accepted or admired. But I think I've got there. So I'd have to say, yeah, I'm okay with it.
And that's as far as you're going to go?
Well,
There's nothing there that made you think that way, or a circumstance that came up, or life itself, or time, or circumstances, or pain, or happiness that made you look who you are.
All of those things were part of it to some degree. There's a lot of things in my life that I always thought were a misstep, and I'd never really quite got onto the right footing. Like I used to have this reoccurring dream, like I'm a surfer. So to ride a wave, you have to catch it first. And I used to have this reoccurring dream where I was out surfing and I'd be paddling for a wave and I'd miss it, and the wave that would have given me the ride has gone on without me. And I used to have this time and time and time again. And I kind of saw it as a metaphor for some things in life that I wasn't able to catch and ride. And I can identify key moments in my life when those opportunities came and I didn't take it. And so there's dissatisfaction with all of that. And part of the reason I didn't take the opportunities was because I was either too slow, too thick, and didn't recognize it. And I saw that as a failing of myself. So I was kind of always liked myself, but unsatisfied with where self was up to. I thought I could get better.
And did you explore that more when you did think about it? Did you go in deep? You could even put it down to, did you meditate on that? Or you thought, I just don't think it's relevant to do at the moment. Like you said, you're pretty lazy. I'd sort this out another time.
Well, like I was saying before, life has put before me a direction that I don't necessarily want to go in, but I can see the benefits of it, or I don't even have a choice. So quite a few times in my life I thought, oh my God, like, when am I going to try and get some sort of control over this sort of thing? So when I was walking down that path that life had propelled me into, I just had to do it. And I could see that after a while, this isn't too bad. I can gain something out of this. So it wasn't that I meditated on it or thought about it. It was like some sort of organic growth. And I've always wanted to improve. I've always wanted to try and be better than what I thought I was. And I think somehow or other it's just been an organic growth. How does all this sound to you? How does that apply to you?
Oh, it resonated with me. The thing for me is you come in this world alone and you leave it alone. For me, being the youngest of 8, I had a lot of time to myself. My parents by then are thinking, Lee Robert, you're too much hard work. I'm going to leave you alone. So I had a lot of time to myself. So I enjoyed that time. And I've always been an observer from a very young age. And as I was growing up and I looked at my siblings and how their lives turned out, I thought, I don't want to be doing that. It doesn't fit into what I would like. What was given to me was time. And I used that time. And now as I grew older and I made mistakes, as we all do. I was an idiot, did things I shouldn't have done, and I know right from wrong. But I took it down to an inner child, my inner child, and how I never really took notice of it. Of course, the inner child that wanted to be heard, that wanted to be picked up, that wanted to feel safe, to be embraced, to be told everything's going to be okay. Obviously, the inner child's me, and that's what I wanted because I never had that. But what they say always is, well, what you never have, you never miss.
Oh, yeah, I don't think that's entirely true.
Well, it does for me, because if you never have it, how are you going to miss it? I never had that. And not that I have any issues with it, because my parents did the best they could, like every other parent. They're responsible for that. I don't hold them to task for it. Same as my parenting, your parenting. When I realised there was no knight in shining armour, nobody was going to come to save me. That was down to me. When I listened to the inner child, when I saw what was out there, I was weak. I was afraid, and I was a coward. I wasn't strong enough to do the things I wanted to do because I had seen the inner child. I wasn't prepared to make any more mistakes anymore. I had to make good with who I was. I had to better myself. And for a long time, Keith, I didn't truly understand who I was or what I was here for. And then slowly, as I've spoken before, is about the one still voice, the hum. And I started to listen to it. It's like I said, well, Keith, with people come around you, they've probably always been there, but you haven't noticed it. Same as the hum, I call it. I listen to it. And then it starts to work for me. And forever, I didn't like myself. I would get resentful. I would get annoyed. I would get upset. I would beat down on me for whatever reason, mentally, physically, spiritually, in all those fields. Because if you're not educated or not taught these things, you don't know what to do.
Now, you said quite a few things there. This inner child quest or awakening or realising all the implications of that. Could you say that that was you on a growth path of survival to become better?
Absolutely.
So, see, this is what's subtle about this question. Do you really like yourself? And
no, I didn't.
Yeah, well, let's pick that up in a minute. I'd like to know further about that, why you didn't. But sometimes it's becoming somebody who is able to be full in life, who can do and can survive and can make happen and can be an achiever that makes you feel good about yourself. But I'm talking about the very essence, the very core characteristics of who you are as a person. Do you like that? It's not what your characteristics enable you to do to survive, or to feel good about yourself because you've been able to do positive, helpful things to others. But if you're on an island by yourself for 5 years, you're going to be happy, content there just with yourself?
I could, easy.
Did you come to that in time?
Yes, because the whole thing for me is cultivation. You cultivate. And so, like, I was given a lot of free time. So I got to know myself a little bit more, and I explored all that in all different regions. Not too far, but enough. Go thus far, no further. These words just echo to me and resonate in me for who I am. Like I've said before, my parents gave me the name Lee. That doesn't necessarily mean that's who I am. That's a label. Everybody knows me as Lee, but I know myself as a being. I know myself as insecure. I knew myself as unhappy. I knew myself as alone. To come to terms with all that takes time. It's not you can flick on a switch and everything's the rooms light up and, there it is. You have to find it. You have to search for it. And it's taken me a long time. My wife has been along these lines we've been married nearly 40 years next year. And from very early age, she spotted that, but she was like that also. Now, in the latter part of her life, she goes to Vipassana, which is a meditation center in Pomona, and she has this inner strength now that she never had before. I realized that I was meditating on myself, but not in the word or the action of meditation.
I see what you're saying.
It's
with meditation, I get it.
It's the welcoming of who I am. Not as Lee, not as dad, not as the husband, not as a mate, but who I am. I hope that you're enjoying the podcasts and the content that we're bringing to you each week. I want to take a moment to invite you to support the show. Your contributions help us continue creating high-quality episodes, bringing in exciting guests and exploring the topics you love. Every bit helps, whether it's a small donation or signing up for our Patreon account. By supporting us, you're not just helping keeping the lights on, you're becoming part of our community and helping us grow. To show our appreciation, we offer exclusive perks, behind-the-scenes content, and so much more for our supporters. So if you love what we do and you want to see us thrive, please consider signing up at buzzsprout.com/Don't Get Me Started. Support the show. Thank you for being part of our journey, and let's keep the conversation going.
So you're saying during this time when your wife goes to Vipassana, she spends 10 days in total silence.
She does.
And so this is an environment where you are there only with yourself. And so you're not doing anything. You're not being stimulated by books, radio, or the internet, your phone, just total silence. You're saying that that's what you mean by when you talk about meditation, that you're looking in to yourself to see what's coming out of yourself when you're not looking any further, say, than 18 inches in front of you.
Absolutely.
Without any stimulation.
You're not allowing other things to come in because you're protecting yourself from it to understand who you are. Now, my wife asked me a long time ago, she goes, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm a coward." And she goes, "What do you mean by that?" I said, "Well, I haven't done the things that I should have done. I haven't said the things I should have done. I haven't been the things I should have done because I was afraid of other people." In the UK, if you make a mistake, they pummel you. So it could have been a bit of that as well. Once I realised that wasn't the case, I grew a little bit more, became a little bit stronger, became a little bit less alone, because I don't need people to validate. I can do that myself. We had a talk yesterday and you said to me, "Oh, Lee, do you ever believe that we'd ever be here?" And I thought, yes, I do, because I'm not going to be negative about it. Because it's easy to take the negative. "Oh, well, it was because of this. Oh, well, yeah, I suppose so." They're just not being themselves. And it goes from a multitude of people.
Also, I'm thinking related to this is the fact that we have to accept ourselves, not just like ourselves, but we have to accept it. Let's say the top mark is 100. Looking at yourself and seeing yourself honestly, sometimes you think, well, I'm not very good at this and I'm not very good at that. Other people are so wonderful in all those areas. "Oh, I wished I was, but I'm not." So out of 100, you might be 63 and you can never go any higher. And so it's very hard to accept yourself because you see the standard being gold. I think that's one of the hardest things for a lot of people to do, to be accepting the fact that they're only a 20, well, I wouldn't say 25, but let's say 35 or a 74 out of 100. That's me. That's okay. I'm okay. Because I think all of us, and I include myself, we all have insecurities, don't we? And one of the hardest things for us to do as individuals is to look at ourselves in a very stark light and say, that's me. But then if you see what's deficient, you may not like yourself.
I'll give this a challenge to all our listeners, and you may not like it, but it was once said to me, to really know who you are, get naked and look at yourself in front of a mirror, because that's who you are, warts and all. Now, once you take that, because you're not covered by clothes, you're not protected, and you're looking at all the whatevers, I don't know, I won't say it, I won't scare people.
Wrinkles and folds.
All that.
And what's headed south.
And before. You need to embrace that. You need to love that. Because if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anybody else?
Yeah, that's true too, isn't it? Yeah, I get that. But I'm, my emphasis here, what I'm seeing is about liking your inner self, your attributes, what you are, what it is about your inner dynamic that makes you the person that you are.
It takes time. It takes patience.
I think it might, yeah, I think you might be right there.
Reality, honesty, have that time alone. I remember we had a podcast before and I said, take 5 minutes out. Just go in a room. No noise, 5 minutes, sit still. 5 minutes and see how your brain, how that grey matter dominates you. So if that dominates you that much, how are you going to think of who you are when it's telling you to get up, go off, do things? It's ruling you.
I think we live in a consumer society where all the time images of success and people who are achieving or who have achieved and have this and have that, and you can get it too, you can have it. So we have all this pressure through advertising and through people talking socially that you really totally open and honest with, like you and I are with each other. Oh, my household recently for 2.5 million, God. Me and Cynthia, we're going for a nice big cruise up
6 months around Europe.
Yeah, like, what are you doing? Oh, like I'm still struggling with my mortgage and work, so... I've only just recently become a thousandaire.
I've had a hip replacement and life's crap at the moment.
So you can get this pressure on you from all these different angles. They just keep buffeting you, and so that sometimes makes it hard for us to kind of accept ourselves because we're not kind of seeing ourselves as being able to have the same privileges as what they got. And I think that's a wrong way to look at it.
Absolutely. So that's a byproduct. It's what you allow in.
Yeah.
But you've got to look inward. Now, I watched a movie with Russell Crowe called The Beautiful Mind, and it spoke to me. And he had the three characters there. And you thought, they're his mates, but they weren't. It was his imagination. And they were telling him to do this and got him into all sorts of strife. And then later on, as the movie progressed, you see them in the corner and their hands are in their pockets and they're just kicking the road. And he said, are they still there? These voices in your head. And he looks over and he sees the three and he goes, yeah. He said, but the difference is now I don't listen to them.
Yeah, that's good.
That's where I get my inner self. I don't listen to my head, my brain, or what it's telling me, because it will run you into the ground. I try to master that so I can go in through the gatekeeper, go in and know who I am and be happy with who I am and even love who I am.
Yeah, well, it's what we have to do. We have to reject the projected ideal that comes at us through social pressure or through advertising that we hear.
Do you think it's harder now because through social media, baby boomers with the wealth that's come out, that it gives our children or the generation below this wealth that they can use and misinterpret the whole point of it, where 50 years ago, it wasn't so prevalent?
I don't know, mate. I don't know if I can answer that or even pass an opinion, but all I know is that these challenges that every individual has probably been around forever.
Because 50 years ago, say, you didn't have that. So you had more time. You wasn't distracted.
You didn't have what?
Well, you didn't have social media.
Yeah, but you had other social pressures.
Right. Yeah, but you had time to yourself. Like you were fitter, you were healthier. You had to get up and get going. You couldn't be lazy. So you had to make your way. There was conversations.
Yes.
There was if you wanted to find something out, you physically had to get up and go to the library, go to a friend, to find out stuff, explore, read a book, all different now.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Life is too easy in some areas.
You ate healthier.
Yeah.
As well.
Well, that brings its own barriers, if you like, from stopping who you are. I think there is more of a projected image of the ideal now for young people than what there has been before because of social media. Like, here's the ideal influencer. This is what he or she is doing. This is what he or she is looking like, where they have been, and look how many followers they've got. This is a very real pressure that we know that's causing a lot of harm amongst young people.
Yeah.
And I don't think that we had this when...
No, not at all.
When the baby boomers were in their teenage, early 20 years. And the projected ideal coming through social media nowadays, I think, is a lot more pressurized on the individual and the people than before.
So let me ask you this question. Do you know yourself?
Yes.
Do you love yourself?
Yes.
You're a winner.
Yeah, well, thanks, mate. It took me a while to get there, but
you're there.
Yeah.
So you're going to give up now? You feel that's enough, or are you going to work on yourself?
Well, I wanted to give up, but, like I said earlier, I wanted to just plateau out because I thought, this is all right. I've kind of arrived where I've wanted to be. People just keep coming around and propelling me. No, do this, do that. Don't settle, you silly bugger. Look what's before you. All you got to do is get off your lazy ass and do it.
Pick it up.
Yeah, pick it up. And it's like, well, okay. So I don't think I can stop because it's obvious what they're putting before me has benefits that is only going to do me good. So you'd be a fool not to take what is something that's going to be good for you.
Yeah, the question, do you know yourself, is such a great question. The moment you said it, you probably saw my face light up anyway, because I come along that line of it. I know it.
Not only do you know yourself, do you really like yourself?
Yes, and like you, it took time to get to it, and I'm glad it did because it's a learning process. So it's pretty solid now. I always say we talk about stuff with our podcasts and our new Rogue Radio Noosa coming, is that the foundation has to be strong, otherwise it will fall. From a very young child to where I am now, it's a process that had happened, and I am thankful I went to school on it. Whether I got good marks from it or not, that's for other people to rate me of who they think I am. I'm an introvert. You are an extrovert. You like people. Mm-hmm. I don't. Here we go. Here's another little thing. I don't trust people because I think a lot of people are false and they don't really know who they are and they think they've got one over on you. The French say, don't smile around the French because they think you're silly.
A lot of people are like that.
They think, you're a little bit strange.
Yeah, a lot of European people are like that.
Where does that come from?
I have a bit of a theory on that.
Go on then.
Well, it comes from living in, like I said, Europeans, in societies where there's a lot of people. They're old societies. This is in Europe, Eastern Europe, it's up in Russia, and all these different people who don't smile quickly. Us Anglo-Saxons think that there's something wrong. Australian white society is only about 300 years old, and so we're still immature in this. So we feel that we have to say good day to everybody. We walk into a shop and the person behind the counter says to you, "G'day, how you going?" It's like, well, I don't really want to tell you. It's like, you don't even really want to know. Go to these other countries, the French, the Europeans, East Europeans, etc. They don't bother to ask your well-being because they haven't got time. They have so many people that they interact with. There's so many people around them that why would you waste a smile? You don't have to do it.
I love some sayings where it said, in life, you've got to shut some doors, not because you're bigger than that or you're arrogant, but because they lead you nowhere. And that's what I've been doing for many, many years now. It's also closed off areas that would waste my time.
So you're opening more doors now, aren't you?
That's it. So I didn't realise, like what you're saying, people come around you now, there were so many doors. I'm going to open every door. Now, whether I go in is another matter. Whether I open up, have a look, think, oh, no, shut up.
Yep, I like that.
But I'm in that position now. And people go, well, it's because you're aged now. It's because your children are grown up. No, this will carry on to my dying day. I watched a really interesting movie with Anthony Hopkins about dementia. It was beautifully done. And in the end, he reverted back to a child and he wanted his mother. So it's incredible life. It's fantastical. Should never be wasted. Explore it, live it, have fun with it, live your best life. Do something different.
Yeah. Well, see, it's interesting you say that about him becoming childlike again. And Shakespeare talks about the 7 stages of life and how the older person reverts back to the childish way. As you go through life and you get past middle age, that's where you're heading. You're heading to the decline into childhood again, perhaps.
Well, middle age now isn't 50, it's 38.
38?
That's what I've read. Middle age now is 38.
Well, see, so I like what you're saying. A charge into life, make every day happen to the best it can be for you, live the best life that you can because you don't know when you might slip into that childish stage of your life.
Amen.
Which is your final one.
Well, we get one shot at it.
Apparently we do. We've been very positive today here, Lee, haven't we?
I've loved this again.
Yeah?
I've loved it. And it's a shame we come to the end, but in my childlike voice, Keith, I'll give you the last word.
Do you think if Jordan Peterson was listening to this, he'd give us a tick?
Oh, he'd be laughing his ass off, mate.
I haven't seen him laugh. I kind of think of it as modern day Jesus. You know, he takes the concerns of the world on his shoulders and half crucifies himself. And
yeah, I think if you give yourself to it, good on him.
Wouldn't it be good to have him in here? Maybe if I rolled out a few of those courtroom jokes that I've done on past episodes, might get a rise out of it.
Well, I've missed them.
All right, next episode.
I've missed it, not courtroom joke. I missed your jokes, as you always say. Oh, look, I've got a couple of jokes to start off.
All right, next week, I promise.
Do it.
All right, so in the meantime, Lee, look, great to be back here chatting with you, mate, and to all our listeners, subscribers and followers, we just appreciate the fact that you're on this journey with us. So until next time, it's hooroo from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Don't Get Me Started with Keith and Lee. Don't forget to rate and review this podcast. To see more of Don't Get Me Started, jump onto our socials, follow us on Instagram at Lethal and Mully, Facebook and LinkedIn. If you would like to be a part of the show, email us on don'tgetmestarted2024@gmail.com. Until next time.